Zsófi here from Transylvania, and welcome to my Chat&Knit episode again. Do you remember 1 year ago I uploaded an episode where I talked about my knitting resolutions for 2021, and I just stumbled upon again on my notes. It's here in my book, and I'd like to revise them, and I'd like in this episode to talk about what I achieved from all those and talk about not putting so much pressure on me knitting wise. And also in the end I will show you my Make9 grid, because I thought now that I'm not making so many projects that I used to make. In 2020 I made I finished 40 projects. Okay, not all garments, small projects too. And matter of fact, this year, I have that noted here, this year I finished 12. Yeah, this year I finished 12 projects and I started 22 projects only. So I ended up this year with 10 unfinished projects. That is increasing my pile of WIPs. So that's why I say I don't want to put pressure on myself knitting wise, and I think I'm gonna make this I'm gonna have this Make9 for myself, and we will see how much I can do from that. It's okay, it's just no pressure here, and that's why I like to revision my knitting resolution and just laugh about it, because sometimes we put so much thought and intention, but life takes us on another ways. Not that I believe in discipline, and I believe that setting goals, it's very helpful to choose your right way and to change your way if you need this kind of discipline. But after all, this is a hobby, and you know, guys, in a summer for me everything turned upside down when we moved here, and knitting less allows me to have more open space and time for other crafts. So last year I said, 1 year ago I said, I will stop test knitting and I will test knit maximum 3, and I think I applied for more test knits than 3, and the majority I did not complete, and that's that's very bad for me. So this year I really don't want to apply to test knits, because I liked myself when I could finish the test knits, but and I don't like the fact that I could not finish other test knits, and yeah, that's kind of not cool, matter of fact. So no more test knitting, that still stands, but yeah. I said also no more yokes, only just one from bottom up, the winter sole. So I did not make the winter sole, and I did 2 yokes, so that's not so bad of breaking a rule. I made 2 yoke setters. One is the lovely Kuta, that thank you so much for the person who bought it, because it was a dispatched item, and the other one is Mivungo pullover by Nuts Knitwear. Okay, 3, knit from what I have. I started knitting the Tudor Rose, so that's a pattern that I had. Otherwise, I don't think that I knitted from the patterns that I own, but rather from just what came up in a test knits, and so yeah. I wanted to try different constructions. So this one I was very passionate about and very interested about. And I did try, I've had here ziggurat, something from Jennifer Beal, because she has different constructions a lot. And the curvo sweater, which is a sideways sweater. So I did the first, was the curvo, I did that sweater. And that turned out okay, but not the best fit for me. Then Jennifer Beal Designs, I tested for her one shawl, or not shawl, it's a shrug, or yeah, that's the idea, came from a shawl, but it turned out to be a shrug. So, but I did not finish that. So that's also a little bit of interesting construction. And then the ziggurat method, it's still up in the air, so really want to try that one. I also said I'm gonna learn brioche, I'm gonna knit from Stephen West, and I'm gonna have more shawls. And this did not happen at all. I made one shawl for me and one shawl for my son. No, 2 shawls for me, so kind of happened that I still want more shawls. And then number 8, things for the bottom. So I made one pants, and I love those pants, but they are turned out too big for me. I was comfortable with a size XL. I thought it's gonna be fine to have something roomier for myself, but turns out that this pattern is like much better for the fitted sideways, so there is no room of playing with positive ease. Rather make it just leggings. And I don't know what happened with the pattern, because I finished my test for this one, and I think the pattern was never published, but in a future episode I will talk about it. I will show you guys, I show it to you guys, and I will contact the designer and ask her, because I think that those pants are fabulous. Yes, so, and sorry, number 9, I wanted to try marling. I did not really try marling, but I tried fading, so that's very great. And actually this tea, the sun moon fade tea, here's the picture. This was also a finished test knit, different construction and lovely fading. So it's kind of some points I kind of tackled, so that's great. I'm just like talking to myself. For me, yeah, great. Number 10, vintage project. There is no vintage project, sorry. Number 11 and 12, knit from books and knit with cables. So that's great. The Tudor Roses, it's coming into play here. Okay, number 13, finish one whip every month. So my stack of whips is increasing. It's like 20 projects now that there are whips, old whips. And in the beginning of last year I was focused on this, and I actually finished 3 older whips, and that's great. But this is something that I really want to set for me this year. Just a reminder to, from time to time, finish those whips that are just maybe need one sleeve, yeah, or the other half of the sock. Yeah, that's a big one, right? And sometimes I have projects that only need a few stitches and a little bit of sewing up. Yeah, so number 14, make my own design. And I signed up for this Spanish initiative of making your own design, and they would like they had so many people included in this, and so much going on. This was the Knit 3 Words Challenge, and I applied for this. And the idea was you have 3 categories, and there are words in this one. You have to use it up in your design. and the first one was fawn, lightning flash, and a solid. So like the yarn should have been solid. And I know that so many people sign up for this, especially my friend of Time Weaver podcast. She discussed a lot about it, and she designed some lovely fawn color inspired pants. I'm still at the stage where she have the baby version, but maybe she already did the adult version. Yeah, go check out her podcast. I really have to watch it too. So, and I found it super helpful to have 3 words that inspired me, really get my mind going, and I had such a great idea, I think, for socks, but I never made them. Not just knitting, but also to write down such pattern for the first time, so I did not have the mind set and the space and the right time for that. So I'm sorry for missing out on this, but those socks, that design is in my mind, and that definitely want to make at least just those one in this new year. Okay, and then 15 knit from To the Roses, that's here. I am finishing almost the front. I reached to the underarm, and then I think tonight I'm gonna finish in the front. And I hope in the next podcast episode I can show the assembled piece. So that's great. Number 16, toy for Shoma, my son, for his birthday. And the 17, matchy project with Shoma. So the matchy project I managed with the shawl. I wanted in the first to match up his cable sweater, the mini, what was it called? The mini Sawyer, yes, by Sari Nordlund, and I have the adult version pattern for that, but I never finished. I only have the ribbon for that, so it was just too big a project for me to make a whole jumper for myself with cables from that. So yeah, and the toy for Shoma, I should be saying that I'm so feeling bad about it, but I don't allow myself feel about me not knitting those stuff, or knitting or not knitting anything. So the idea is like my son really loves to play with toys, so the toys not with toys, my son really loves to play with cars, so this is like the number 1. So cars are most interesting. He never really played with the knitted toys from before. I have a Nautilus that I made and that he really loves, and I made that when he was a baby. And I think I'm gonna make up to him with this. Like, I want to knit like a smaller human figurine that he can fit into his cars, some of the cars. So, but I don't feel that skilled, and I don't feel that the right time for me to concentrate on such a crochet project, because I imagine that crocheting a doll, like crocheting a human figure or a stick figure or something like that, would be the best for this. So, but I'm definitely, we'll have to make that one. So yeah, these are my resolution revising moments, and so I hope if not from all of this you get the idea that what I learned during this year, that it's not important to finish all the projects. Matter of fact, yeah, I wanted to share this for a while now. I started knitting 3 years ago, and I loved it so much, and I was so much into the, how to say, into the middle of it and in the fever of it. You know, like I really felt like I really want to make all the projects, and I quickly fell in love with different kind of projects, browsing through Ravelry, browsing through designers' pages. I quickly added like a lot to my queue. I have more than 1,000 projects in my queue, and slowly now that this rush of knitting and this fever is gone, and I feel like more settled down, and I have my own rhythm, and that's okay. I realized I'm never not gonna knit all those projects in my queue, and I kind of, now it's the point where everything is like, how to say, I could take a step back and I can see more clearly. I am not into this knitting craziness that I was in, and that was great, right? Because it kept me going, it kept me researching, and it was, I don't know, it was so much fuel in it for me. But as I said, now I am more settled, and I started to think about what kind of projects are worth my time. I started to, now that I own a sufficient amount of hand knitted sweaters, I started to realize there are some that I'm not gonna wear at all, or I'm not gonna have to have 20 new knitted garments every year. And it's so great to finally reach this stable and this calm point in my knitting, so that I just have my queue just for inspiration for what I might want to really knit, but I don't feel that I really have to make all the jumpers and all the patterns that I have in my library or what I bought, maybe even so. So that's why I guess the Make9 is a great, because yeah, I feel like it's super helpful for me just to focus on a few things and be happy with that. So and yeah, I'm happy and grateful that I reached to this point, that I'm content with how much I knit. I don't feel any pressure that I should finish a jumper in 1 month. So yeah, maybe that's why I did not finish so many projects this summer. And I think this is a natural, because if you put too much energy into one thing at once, and it's like you're really passionate about it, inevitably you reach that point where you question why am I doing this so much. And of course I don't question why I knit, but why should I have so many knits, and why should I buy that pattern, and so. I guess my idea was just I feel more content with what I have, and also slowing down in my knitting still has the same advantage, still has the same passion for me, but and the quality start to be more important than the quantity, and I'm so happy for this. Okay, now I just want to mention my Make9 grid, what I am having in my Make9, and here is a picture about it. Number 1, Wool and Honey by Andrea Mowry. And I would put this first because it's such a well-known and such a great piece, and I have the yarn for it, lovely Norwegian Roma yarn in this rusty colorway. I got it from Yarn Exchange with Inga of Knitting Traditions podcast. Number 2, it's called Rusty Tuku by Susanne Sommer, and that has a lovely interesting construction. Basically this type of construction she invented, I guess. It's like you start off like a shawl, and after that you build it up as a jumper, so that's great. The number 3, I would say, let's say ziggurat method, another construction that I have yet to try. And this is a ziggurat method, is like a top-down seamless, really, they say really clever construction. So Asa Tricosa Bento Boxy, that would be my number 3. Then the next row, I choose, I want to choose something, some of those that are not such well known and not that popular. Like I have this book, and inside is this Evelyn by Sarah Hutton. It's all Sarah Hutton patterns. I think edited, the edition is by Rowan. Yeah, Rowan magazine. And as I said, I want to have more vests, so I'm including here one vest. Then I choose Downhill by Knight, because I like to have more dresses, and I think I really enjoy wearing those roomy, boxy, long dresses with really thick yarn, fluffy yarn. And I have some exactly in this blue color, some drops air that would be perfectly suitable. And maybe I'm not gonna buy this pattern, because I do have other patterns which start our jumper patterns, that they start off top down and including a v-neck. So I think for this it's totally fine to use as a basis a v-neck pattern, whatever you like, and just knit up a dress. But that's my inspiration, the Downhill by Knight. And then I really want to make the Autumn Manifold jacket by Svetlana Gordon. And Svetlana Gordon is like a, I don't know if she's Russian or other Slavic countries, but her designs are really amazing. You must check it out, because it's again this clever, different kind of construction where you with short rows and such, knitting back and forth, she creates this crazy amazing shapes and flowers and designs. So it's worth to look at her designer's page and look what's possible with knitting. So I choose this jacket because the yarn is Noro Kurayon, and it's a Japanese variegated yarn. Is it called variegated? No. And it's like a long color differences. Yes, it slips my mind now, but you understand. So it's lovely, lovely, great yarn, and I always wanted to try this yarn, and it happened that I found it online in a distash, and I got, I think, enough to make this type of jacket. So that's gonna be a like really happy, colorful, rainbow, crazy jacket, and I want to cast on right now. I'm really excited about it. So these 3, I think, are some of the least known patterns, and I'm really happy to include them. And then on the last row, I want first of all, I want a Peace Jubiläumgänser, and I mentioned this before, but I never show you the picture. So I want to make that one. It's by Randy Sunday, and it's a free pattern, and I want to use a white Angora yarn with a light grey wool, and I think that would be great. I love the effect when a very round color is Angora, the more fluffy yarn, and then the contrast color is just wool. I think it gives a nice feel to it. And then second, I want to make the spot sweater by Anne Wenzel. And this you cannot find on Ravelry, but you can find it on her website. And I think if you check out the hashtag spot sweater, and then you will be amazed like how much is possible to do with this sweater, because it looks great in just 2 colors. Or people started to use up. You can knit it in wool, but you can knit it in mohair. And people started to use up their mohair scraps and created this really amazing fades and color combinations. And I guess now that knitting with mohair is such a trendy thing to do, we end up with a lot of scraps. So it's great to use it up and just let go of your color constructions and experiment with how this goes together. And the last one is a pattern that is still not published, but I'm waiting for it so much from last year. I was really contemplating to sign up for testing this, but then I stopped myself because I knew I couldn't possibly make it until the deadline. It's a all colorwork sweater. It's called All Cooped Up by Caitlin Shepherd, and she's Plucky Pigeon Knits on Instagram. So I took the picture from the Instagram, and yeah, she's been like posting this like for half a year now on the Instagram, and this yeah, just really waiting it will get out. And I particularly want to make this lovely chicken design because I'm just thinking or for next step after we have electricity and spring starts to come, we really want to have a chicken coop, make a chicken coop and get some chickens. So I should have a jumper with chicken. And then in the meantime, I was thinking actually I don't want so many jumpers, so it's great that I have a vest and I have a dress in it. But I realized I need more jackets or more cardigans. That's the word I want. So I'm wondering which one of these I can actually, one more of this I want to modify into a cardigan. Maybe, I don't know, spot sweater, or not so much, or something that I can just knit in a round and after a sticky. But I want one of them to modify into a cardigan, and another one I want to modify into a dress, so to make it even longer. But I don't know if that will be possible. Maybe the bento box, it would be suitable to modify it into a dress, you know. So yeah, so these are my plans for the future. These are my Make9. Let's see how this goes, and I'm happy to see what are your Make9s. If you're posting Make9 grid on Instagram, you can tag me on it so that I can see it. So thank you so much for sticking around with me on this. I guess I tend to have this big enthusiasm about things, and then reality changes or steers them up, and the end result is just, as I said, I'm not allowing myself to be to putting pressure on me, or to be unhappy about not reaching all those goals in my list. Reaching even 3 out of 10, I think it's a great achievement. After all, I still learned something. I still have you guys. I have this community, and for the most important part, what I am happy for is this grounded feeling about my knitting. So no rush and no pressure of making all the things. And other than that, last year I had my word for the year, and it was resilience. And I think, oh my god, I needed so much resilience in my life. The last year was not easy, and not just because of the global situation, but it's like the personal things, and all these changes, and now that now that we are practically without electricity, so this, I think, really put me into the middle of things, and I really had to use up all my energy to stay resilient and stay strong. So it was a great word for the last year, and this year, because of this, I want something more sweet, some more, not that kind of strong word, but something something more harmonious, and that's why my word for this year will be harmony. And perhaps also simplicity, like simplicity and harmony. So harmony, like and simplicity, getting rid of things that I don't need, simplifying and harmonizing my life, just finding the beauty and in everything. And I think for that you need the slow and simple life, to be able to live in harmony with nature and with yourself. So yeah, my first choice of words this year is harmony. So let me know what is yours, and I see you in the next video. Bye. Yeah, bye. Mi a helyzet? Miért nem nézed a rajzfilmet? Nem nézed a rajzfilmet? Mit kérsz, szőlőt? Az alma nem finom? Nem vittük be. Van alma. Van alma. Van alma. Van alma. Van alma.